Welcome back to Tang Time, where I teach you how to lower your score without having to work on your golf swing. On today's agenda, I'm going to teach you how to change the trajectory of your ball flight. Sometimes when you find yourself in an inopportune situation, you might need to hit a low shot or you might need to hit a high shot. And that's what I'm going to teach you how to do today. When you're trying to play a shot with a higher trajectory, we want to put the ball a little forward in your stance. So the bottom of the arc is behind the ball and you're hitting up and you're catching the ball on the upstroke. So when the ball is ahead of center, you're going to hit the ball very clean. To get the ball higher in the air, you need more backspin. So that means hitting the ball pretty hard. We're not going to decelerate or pick the ball up into the air. You're still going to make a full swing. The worst thing that you can do when trying to hit the shot is to try to help the ball into the air and dip backwards and hit the ground before you hit the ball. And that's going to cause your ball to come out really low, the exact opposite of what we're going for. When you're playing a high trajectory shot, don't think that you're going to hit a 5-iron the same trajectory as a pitching wedge. We still have to be reasonable. So if you're pretty close to a tree, but you're pretty far from the green, take your medicine and get over the tree first. So when we're trying to hit a ball with a lower trajectory, we want to set the ball up behind center. The bottom of your swing arc is going to be ahead of the ball. That means your golf club is going to be coming down on a descending angle, meaning you're able to trap the golf ball and get it to start lower. We want to keep the ball low, so finishing the golf swing creates lift to the ball. And to keep the ball low, we're going to finish low, meaning we want to stay around here. That's going to keep the ball from lifting into the air. The worst thing you can do when you're trying to play a low trajectory shot is trying to smother the golf ball. If your 8-iron is not going to go low enough, don't force it. Switch to a 7-iron or a 6-iron. When you try to over-trap the golf ball, you can hit a big hook, or you'll dig into the ground and the ball won't get high enough to get off the ground. Don't expect your ball to go low underneath the tree and then rise high enough to then stop on a dime on the green. Play for the release. Just know that if the pin is in the front and you have to hit a low trajectory shot, you might end up at the back of the green with a pretty long putt. But you're probably hitting this low trajectory shot because you're in the woods to begin with. So this is probably a recovery shot, so don't expect to be super close to the pin. So I found myself a little out of play here, and I'm underneath some trees. This first tree is overhanging pretty far. I don't think I can keep the ball under the first tree for long enough to get over the second tree. So this is gonna have to be a low shot. And now I'm gonna figure out how far I have to hit everything. If you haven't seen my video on pre-shot routine, go check it out. So I've got a really nice lie here. It's 130 yards to the pin. Those tree limbs are pretty low and they're pretty far away from me, which means I need to keep the ball low for a long time. It's a little downwind, but that's really not going to affect my shot. There's a little bit of water right side and short of this pin, so I do have to try to keep it on the left side if possible. All right, let's give it a swing. So I have a 4-iron in my hands, and my goal here is to get the ball past this grouping of trees, which I'm gonna call the jungle jail. It's a pretty tough shot, so I'm not gonna be disappointed if my ball doesn't reach the green, but I do need to get it back into play. So I'm gonna pick a line as left as I can go. If you haven't seen my video on alignment, go check it out. And we're gonna make a good swing. All right, so ball is a little back of center. I'm choking down on the club because I don't have to hit this very far. I only have to hit it about 80 to 90 yards and it will roll out the rest of the way. Weight's a little bit on my left because I wanna maintain that control through the ball, keep it low. All right, here we go. It ended up pretty good. So it caught a little bit of the overhanging moss, but the ball is just short of the green and back in play. All right, so I found myself out of play again. This time, I have some space between me and this first tree, and I feel like the shot is to go over this tree. Let's analyze the shot and see how I have to play it. It's in the rough, but it's a pretty decent lie, not too shaggy. It's sitting up enough that I should be able to lift the ball pretty high. The pin is 142 yards away. This would be a typical 8-iron for me. If this was a typical 8-iron, I would definitely hit the tree. So I need to be able to launch it higher. I think that I can get this 8-iron high enough to get over this tree. My issue is I don't think I can quite reach the pin or the green. So what should I do? Hit the 7-iron and help it go higher. Wrong. You have to accept that sometimes you don't have the perfect combination. I probably need to hit a 7-iron for the right distance, but I don't think I can get the 7-iron high enough, fast enough to get over this tree. So I'm gonna play the 8-iron, and if I happen to land short in the bunker, that's okay. What I don't wanna do is try to help a 7-iron and then chunk it and hit the ball straight into this tree and leave myself in an even worse situation. So I'm gonna take the 8-iron, and if I end up in the bunker, I'll just get up and down from there. And if you haven't seen my bunker video, go check it out. So let's give it a swing. The wind is pretty heavy into my face here, which is why I don't think this 8-iron is gonna reach. But I'm gonna commit to this shot and make a good swing, and I'll deal with whatever the outcome is afterwards. Got a good line. I got my ball set up ahead of center. Weight's a little bit in the back to help the ball go up, but I'm not gonna lean back and try to get this higher. If I end up in the bunker, it's fine. I'm going to maintain my spine angle and hit a good shot. That was the perfect trajectory to get over the tree, and it's just short of the green. I'm gonna hit a 7-iron here. I'm gonna see what happens when I try a little too hard. Oh. So I hit the first tree, and now I am right behind the second tree because I couldn't take my medicine and hit the 8-iron. Remember, golf is just a collection of your best misses. So we want to eliminate our doubles and triples and quadruples by getting ourselves back in play as soon as possible. We don't want to be messing around in jungle jail for too many shots. Half of the game is knowing what kind of shot to hit and when to hit it. Now that you have a high trajectory shot and a low trajectory shot in the bag, you can decide if you're going to go under the tree or over the tree. Comment below what kind of help you're looking for on the golf course. Stay tuned for my next episode, where I teach you how to decide what kind of chip you should chip.